Now the end is truly coming. We've got the 4 Horsemen, which is always a promising sign in terms of apocalypses and all of that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where things go. But yeah, this is episode number 3 of season 4 for the 100. Hello everyone, Liam Catterson here. And yeah, this should be very, very interesting, coming off a very decisive episode after Bellamy made the hard call in terms of destroying the hydro generator to free the slaves. It was the slaves versus the hydro generator. And the hydro generator being important to plan B in case Clark does not find a solution to ending the world. So they've got to come up with something else now, I guess, now that Bellamy has really put a dent in terms of the water supply, for if that time does come. But yeah, I'm looking forward, as well as what's going to happen in Polis, considering we had a really, really decisive moment there in terms of what Rowan is wanting to do, in considering the fact that he's injured and everyone's saying, yeah, let someone else fill in, and Rowan's just like, I got this, it's okay. I mean, it would be very, very unnoble if I let someone else replace me, which there's already a bit of hate with the Sky Crew surviving, considering a lot of people still blame them for what happened regarding the City of Lights. So he doesn't want to add insult to injury by having someone else fight for him. His leadership being a bit more compromised than it is already. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where things go for the 100. This is episode number 3. The extended reaction will be on Patreon as always. So with that said, let's go. Oh man. Luna!
Please don't turn us away because of what it did to you.
Only if you accept being commander. I'm kidding. We made it back.
Floating on the sea to the horizon, in every direction.
Say are further from land, aren't they? So they're gonna pick
Let's
up
get them to med bay.
the effects of the radiation first. Oy.
Come on.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's already here.
Yep. And they are the first to get a good dosage of good old radiation. Yum.
The flame's been stolen.
How?
Holy shit, let's chop off their
Just
hands.
now from my quarters, while I was training.
How can you be so careless? We need to lock down this city and search everyone.
You should have worn it like a necklace, to be fair.
If word gets out that he's lost the flame, the other clans will question his rule. Tree crew loudest of all.
And I'll be forced to answer the questions.
It's like, can we really trust someone who can't keep the flame?
Just find it.
Based on the new data, I'd say we have
3 months?
2 months of survivability. Maybe
Great! Great! And I was going to say the arc.
close. Agree on protocols for dealing with the people who are pissed off they're not chosen.
It's literally the culling all over again.
Rationing, and I am doing it. But choosing who gets to live or die is your specialty.
Holy shit! I mean, in a sense, she's also
No
not,
one's scheduled to take them
I
over.
guess, but I don't know. It's like a bit of a blow, but a bit of truth as well.
Remind Clark what happened the last time Jaha went looking for salvation.
Yeah.
We could save a lot more than 100 people.
If it's not,
But this is something more than paradise, bliss, and all of that.
if it's not, I'll make the list. Okay?
Give her
You
this.
want, got a ship to sail.
To poison our minds. I know you're in pain.
So I'm guessing all the internet servers survived
But it doesn't have to be like this.
the
There
nukes.
is a way.
Because that bunker is there. I could feel it.
Oh
God
boy.
seems like a religious fanatic to me. Maybe. Or maybe he was just a leader willing to do whatever it took to save his people.
I was gonna say, this whole religious vibe is clicking on with Jaha. Not getting comfortable vibes whatsoever. Remember the last time Jaha had religious-y vibes? Some people got tossed out the boat.
You ran off with your...
Luckily they haven't got any extras here.
Inside 2 months.
a tough call, isn't it? It's really, really tough. And Abby wants to help.
The radiation isn't killing that child. You are.
Oh, that's... Oh, Abby. That's the thing, though. Abby always wants to help so much, and it's a tough call. Like, what is the best decision?
What are you waiting for? Go. Be doctors.
Oh, Murphy.
Give it to the child first. And if it works, you give it to the others.
That soft spot, though. I mean, it's a tough call, isn't
I'm
it?
glad you're back, John.
His father got floated for stealing medicine to save him.
Yes, he
He
did.
had it in him.
Oh, shit. And
He did.
he's done the same thing. Oh, my God. That's just clicked on there. Holy shit.
Leave before you get hurt.
Give me the flame.
No, you should really
Does not
ask
belong
before
to you
taking.
or your red-blooded king.
Whoa.
Can't let you leave with it.
You don't have a choice.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn, she can move.
She's my daughter.
What? No wonder she fought so well.
I'll talk to Rowan.
Looks like you found that daughter now.
Rowan sent me here to kill you.
Oh, boy.
If I don't come back with the flame, he will send others.
If the spirit of the commanders deems it my time, then so be it.
No, Indra wants...
Indra.
Come on.
Please, Eliane, you don't have to do this.
Ah, shit.
Yes, I do.
It's fake, isn't it? Please tell me there's a fake. Ah, shit. You assholes. Well, I know who's coming for you.
Thank
It
you.
was. Nice old switcheroo. Good job she's helping out now. This sucks. It was worth a try, wasn't it? Horrible. This is horrible. Oi, oi, oi.
Leadership is a lonely pursuit. But you keep her centered.
You got it backwards.
Oh,
Still blaming yourself for killing that army.
they need
You made
each
mistakes,
other.
it's true. But your intentions were pure. How many people do you have to save before you forgive yourself?
Oh man,
Over here.
damn! I'm just loving. I was loving that talk.
Time. Only those who reach level 12 could achieve salvation.
Luckily, we won't have to go through the same thing.
I was right.
I love how Jaha's so enthusiastic about being right. There's some disappointment going on. Oh.
It wasn't sealed. The radiation would have killed them in days.
Ah,
This won't save anyone.
Did she go after the people that raided the place? Oh, she did!
You're wrong.
It'll be more dangerous now. More people will have to die to keep me in power. Not that that bothers you. Skyripper.
People fell in line behind the flame. Another fall in line behind the sword.
Oh shit!
Way to save us before they have to.
Oh shit! I'm loving this story from Octavia. She hasn't put herself on it, has she? This is a horrible thing to do, but...
If I'm on that list, you're on that list. Write it down. Write it down, or I will.
Oh, I love this. I love this. He's gonna... My heart! Oh! I just love these two so fucking much. She need that support though, because... Oh, don't tell me she's gonna... Oh, Clark! Oh, she's gonna take this all. I thought she was gonna rip it up, start anew. Yeah.
We didn't treat her.
The Nightblood helped, didn't it?
Your fever's down. Her body's rejecting the radiation on its own.
We need more Nightblood, don't we?
Please, sit down.
Which is a bit of an ask to find, isn't
I'd
it?
like to run some tests. There's one thing that separates Luna from the others.
Say it.
Nightblood.
There we go. We need Nightblood. Stat. You kind of had that fit.
We will rise.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was the case, considering everyone else was in body bags and she was the only one up. And yeah, it seems like Nightblood, Luna being Nightblood could pay some importance once more. So yeah, considering the fact that we had that in the latter part of season 3 with her, oh, please take your rightful place on the throne. No, I can't. So it seems like that's going to come into importance again when it comes to the end of the world. Yee! I'll open up the window a bit. There we go, because I think it's a bit too dark. Yeah. So I've rewound a bit for this episode, because there's one thing that I wanted to pick up upon. The list. Those who are going to survive and the rest are going to purge and all of that. Well, if this list is going to be used, because we kind of have a bit of a solution at the minute. But the one thing that worries me is, unless there's a gallon of Nightblood outside Arcadia conveniently, like those who are at the shore, like, oh yeah, we've also brought some Nightblood that was produced somewhere. Like, I'm not sure if that's necessary, but yeah. Like, imagine if that would happen. But, like, unless there is a gallon, then they might have to, I don't know, would they have to go the Mount Weather treatment? Where they had to, like, they had to extract blood to help those at Mount, oh boy. See, this is the thing though, this season has showcased some really, really hard-hitting decisiveness in terms of character decisions, and that was presented well in terms of Raven, and how interesting it was that Raven took the brunt on decisive movements in this episode, contrary to what happened last episode. We'll get to that in a minute, but it would just be so great. It's really, really, I don't know what's the word to describe it, but it's quite ironic, isn't it, when you consider what happened at Mount Weather and the people there. I mean, unless Luna's willing to, like, this is a sacrifice. I don't know if she would go that route, but unless Luna's offering herself, then like, she sees, well, the lives of the many outweigh just me, so yeah, I'll be game for that. Then it's going to be quite ironic, isn't it, that the next hope could be the Nightblood, and they might have to extract that from Luna. They might have that morality though, where they're like, you can do this, we're not going to force you into any decisions. I have a feeling they'll go that way. it is testing times, especially now that the radiation thing has elapsed from 6 to 2 months. But I don't think they're going to be like Cage. Who knows? They might have to, but I have a feeling they're going to approach Luna and say, you can give up your blood if you want to. You don't have to, but this will save hundreds of lives if you go along with this. I'm wondering, I'm wondering if, just a tiny bit can infect their systems in there, and I say infect like it's ugly, but no, if a tiny bit can be inside their systems and they'll be safe and all of that, because Luna's full of Nightblood, so yeah, I'm not sure how much would be effective enough, but we know that Luna filled with Nightblood is great enough to ensure that she does not succumb like all of our other grounders have done, which was very, very heartbreaking, especially the little girl hearing her wheeze got me emotional, as well as Raven, and I'll get to that in a minute, because like I said, it's so it's so poetic how Raven had that lecture to Bellamy in the last episode, and she was faced with a decisive decision in this episode, so yeah, but I'll turn that a bit because the microphone, yeah. But yeah, this was really, really good. So I've got the list of names that Clark was using. Hopefully she might not have to come to that conclusion where she has to use the list and the, 400 have to wait outside. How that's going to go down if the list is used, which I think it might do, and it will cause a similar panic to the Ark. Yeah, I think people will panic, actually. Yeah, people are going to panic. There'll be a big uproar, and this, I don't know, I'm looking at the list right now, and I don't, apart from Bellark, I'm just having a quick look-see, Allison, Jaleesa Ocean, Dustin Allen, I mean, it's worth noting that Bellamy is covering up, like, I don't know, a quarter of the list, so they could have more notable names on there. But still, we've known a lot of characters on this show. That Brian's on there. Is that the Brian we all know with Miller and all of that? If so, then that's good news for him. Bad news for Miller potentially. Trying to find Nate. Is he on there? I don't think he is. So I think Brian's, apart from Bellark, I think Brian's the only character that's on there that we have come to recognise, which, like I said, I mean, with Bellamy's thumb being like that to half the list, it's like, there could be more names on there, but it's not looking good if you're, like, for characters like, these are names that we don't even recognise apart from potentially Brian, so they might be a bit more understanding given the fact that there's a 4-year, well, it's not even that anymore, but that they won't have to suffer, like they won't have to endure this for 5 years and all of that. So yeah, but I doubt it. I think there's going to be a lot of voices that is going to be absolutely opposed to this, so I can't wait to see how that does go down, especially with the fact that that our cult bunker is donezo, basically. Considering the fact that we had that in this episode, Jaha and Bellark visiting this bunker and trying to see if this is a habitable area, considering the fact that Clark was given that choice. Oh, you can find out if this bunker is good enough for others to hide out in. But if not, then you're writing the list, and wrote the list, Clark did. I have to say, though, that last scene was absolutely melting my fucking heart so much with Bella, considering the fact that Bellamy's like... Well, I think Bellamy was adamant on staying outside anyways. So I really, really love the fact that he accepted the fact that Clark put him on the list, but he was like saying, if you're on that list, if I'm on that list, you're going to be on that list. He needs her. I just want them to together so bad. I mean, they do click so well, and even Jaha can smell the ship vibes, because considering he made a comment about how they click together. So that was really, really great stuff to see. But I have to say, it did remind me about Day Trip, with Bellamy feeling that bit of guilt, where he was like saying, commenting about about what he has done and wanting the absolution, I guess, which he was given by Jaha, and the lives he felt like he destroyed. Similar here, the lives he felt like he destroyed. He wants he doesn't want to feel that guilt, and he wants to be forgiven. He wants to do decisions. It's not like he's a callous person. He just do some controversial decisions. Don't get me wrong, but he wants to see the betterment of the people at the end of the day. So, and he wants to do right at the end. So, yeah. I want to talk about Raven though as well, because that was very, very juicy, with the fact that she wasn't too happy about the fact that Abby wanted... I mean, this is Abby at the end of the day. She's on the same predicament as Bellamy, where we save who we can save today. And that's always going to be Abby. We've established that in this show. But Raven wasn't having any of it when there was extra grounders to take care of, and Raven saying, well, we might need this, so we can't waste this on those who've already contracted a bit of radiation in them. Which did suck, though, for Luna and co, considering the fact that they are far from the coast, so they've got that... I didn't even consider they would be affected first, but it makes sense, considering they are further from land, as well as the fact that fish can infect a bit of the terrain anyways, like, because they've got more scalability, I guess, swimming through the ocean, so as well as birds and all of that, and I guess insects, yeah. But yeah, I digress. There was a bit of tussle about, okay, well, we need to give the drugs to the... I'm calling them drugs like it's a bad thing, but it's not. We need to give this to the kids, the grounders who are affected, and Raven was a bit, let's not. Let's save them for when the time comes. But it's that mindset. The lives of the many outweigh the lives of the grounders few. Not just that, though. Not just the fact that she had to balance between what was right in terms of the lives of the few or the lives of the many, which Bellamy chose the lives of the few, whereas Raven was seeking the lives of the many. But when she chose that and saw the lives of the few being affected, it struck Raven so much, as if she was like, what the hell have I done? You saw how affected she was when she saw that girl wheezing to her death, and it was absolutely heartbreaking as well. So yeah, and I'm saying how poetic it is, considering she did give a bit of a lecture in what Bellamy did. In his mindset, he saved who he could save today, which Raven was against, as she was in this episode. And we saw the I wouldn't say the ramifications, but we saw what happens with her consequence. We saw the consequence of what could happen with Bellamy, with the fact that he took out the hydro generator, which would benefit people more if we resort to Plan B. And we got to see what happens if you chose the lives of the many over the lives of the few in this episode with Raven. So I thought, yeah, and they were both in similar circumstances, both situations where both situations of the lives of the few had vulnerable circumstances. With the slaves, you saw how depressed and how hurt they were, how emotional they were, as we saw. And we saw how damaged and how vulnerable the grounders were after contracting that acute radiation sickness. So yeah, I really, really loved the parallels from the last episode and this episode, and how it played importance in terms of Raven and how she felt like how this decision is not easy. It might be, I don't know, for Raven it might be straightforward because she's got this lives of the many outweigh the lives of the few mindset, but it's not easy. These decisions are never going to be easy. It wasn't easy for Bellamy to destroy the hydro generator. It's not easy for Clark to make the list. It's not easy for Raven to choose the lives of the many over the lives of the few, especially seeing how that girl was wheezing. It was absolutely heartbreaking stuff to see. Props to Murphy, though, as well, considering the fact that he did what his father did when he was on the Ark. He got floated for it. But Bellamy, even though he had his excuse, I think there was a bit of heart for Murphy. I think you even saw it on his face. There was that moment of, like, accepting what he did. Like, I did what I thought was right. But it hurts him to see people in this vulnerable situation. You get that idea. He had a face of hurt on his face, and it was absolutely crushing to see how hurt Bellamy was. Bellamy? Why am I confusing Bellamy with Murphy? But how Murphy was, like, how hurt Murphy was seeing all those people, like, in vulnerable positions. So I have to commend Murphy, and I am growing a lot more to him on this show, because he's absolutely been amazing, especially his interactions with Murphy, with Imori. I'm mucking up all over the place. Especially the fact that he expressed about Ontari and all of that. He wasn't comfortable with it, and he did what he had to do to survive. Like at the end of the day, it was announced. He did everything for survival. It wasn't like he was being unfaithful to Imori with the sex scene and all of that. It's just that he was stuck in a bit of a predicament, wasn't he? It was either this or die, and he chose to survive, and that's always been Murphy's way, hasn't it? He's always found a way to survive. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes, though, with Murphy's story, because I'm growing more intrigued of him, like, season by season. So yeah, and it's so amazing how far he's come since season 1, since I was like, fuck him. Yeah, it was very, very interesting, focusing on Jaha's, which I found so funny, considering the fact that Raven even pointed it out. Oh yeah, last time he was looking for salvation, it didn't end so well, so thank God he didn't bring extras along, because they would have just been sacrificed in some capacity. But what was even funnier is, this still had ties to a religious theme. Like, I commented about the fact that his quest with his disciples, I guess, had this religious vibe when he was making his journey to the City of Light first time around, when he was in the desert and all of that. And it still had a religious vibe, because considering the cults that were in relation to this place that the hundreds of people at Arcadia could survive on, they were religious, weren't they? The cult that had ties to that salvation place. So there was still a theme of religious Jaha there. Just Jaha wasn't a bit batshit crazy compared to what he was in the City of Light. So I thought that was a really, really poetic touch there, like how they did that, because I was thinking, hey, it's still connected in a sense. So yeah, at least he didn't go too crazy, but and he was more logical, especially with the fact that he was consoling Bellamy regarding his decisions and all of that, and he's going to be a bit disappointed, considering salvation didn't turn out to be salvation in the end for the hundreds that could that are not going to make it inside Alpha Station. That hope is withered, just like you will if you contract radiation, like that person did at the end of episode 1. Oy. But yeah, it was just really, really great to see that quest go on, and I mean, even though it ultimately came to nothing, it was like, Octavia's story, I'm really very invested with how Octavia's story's going, because she's turning into this killing machine for Rowan. Not just that, though, but it adds a bit of spice, doesn't it? And she's accepted it. I'm like, go. But that's the thing, I think this killer instinct has manifested in Octavia. The moment I think it's spurned from the moment she wanted to kill Pike for what he did to Lincoln, should I say. She's had this burning desire to put him down, and she inevitably did, but it's manifested into a hunger. It's an appetite for Octavia, and now she's going around being Rowan's assassin now. I like the... Well, first off, I like the fact that we got the fact that Indra has a daughter as well, so that was a complete shock. But also it finds new meaning for Indra's story. Like, I thought Indra's always been an interesting character anyways. But we've got a new development, especially with the fact that Indra's daughter sees Octavia as the daughter that Indra should have had. It's not like... I mean, Indra would want both of them as her daughters, I'm guessing. But... whereas Indra's daughter is not siding with the fact that Indra is following Rowan's direction, and she sees Octavia and she's like, oh, well, she's the daughter you wish you had, basically. It hurts Indra so much, and I'm really loving this emotional story we're getting with Indra, and I like the fact that they did swap out the flame for the thing that Indra's daughter had. They made that little switcheroo, so what the looters destroyed was Indra's daughter's thing. But yeah, gotta put some blame on Rowan for that though. Like when he lost the flame, considering the fact, yeah, I need your help. I've lost the flame. And I'm like, what, dude? It's the most responsible thing. Like, why not wear it like a necklace? Like, that's what I would have done. Like this. I don't know. I'm getting a habit for this, but I would have worn it like this. Like, so nobody could have stolen it unless they snatched it in your sleep, but you would have had protocols to ensure no one got into your room and all of that. So yeah, but still, dude, you should have worn it in your sleep. You should have worn it around your neck, if anything. So, I mean, and this is the thing though, it's funny, considering I said that Rowan's a bit logical, but he wasn't logical about, oh, I'm gonna protect the flame. Yeah, I lost it. Because I would have worn it like a necklace if it were me. So yeah, I'm putting some blame on Rowan for losing the flame there and causing this kerfuffle. But in any case, it's fed the bloodlust for Octavia, considering the fact that Lucas came, smashed the flame, and it gave Octavia a reason to find the one of the leaders that was associated to the guy who lost Ilian, I think he's called. He needs to get away from Polis, because it's only a matter, like, anyone he's encountered, it doesn't end up well, does it? Like, he was close to someone in the last episode, whack. Close to someone in this episode, whack. Yeah, he needs to get the fuck out of there. Like, otherwise he's gonna run out of people to be friends with. No, in all seriousness though, I'm very interested to see where Octavia's story does go, like in terms of this killer aspect, because it's clear that she's accepted it. She even said something along the lines of, well, people stuck behind the flame, now they're gonna have to stick behind the sword, like, in that menacing vibe. And Rowan approved of her, like, well, I don't know, it was more of a kind of that, I don't know if it was a lecture, but he did say, well, more people might have to suffer, but that won't be a problem for you. And then that's where Octavia's acceptance came in. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to follow Octavia's story in terms of her new killer instinct. Like I said, it's spawned from, in my eyes, it's spawned from that lingering hunger to kill Pike for when he killed Lincoln. And it's now this desire for Octavia. So, like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there. But, I also love the name Sky Ripper. Holy shit, love it. There's also one point I want to make out as well before I do conclude. 2 points. First of all, I think I've already said it, but still, that Bellark scene at the end melted my heart so much. And I do hope they do get together before the 100 ends, and whatever season that may be, because you're missing an opportunity. Like, they have some amazing chemistry. I've seen relationships with less chemistry on the show. Well, not on this show, but anywhere. Arrow, Flash, everywhere. Even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like I like a ship that has really fundamental shipping, in my opinion. I've seen more, like, Bellark has a lot of compatibility in my eyes. and they need each other. So I do hope they do get together in some capacity. Considering that last scene was absolutely like, oi, that my heart. But yeah, the point I wanted to get across was the fact that Abby returned to Arcadia. Now there shouldn't really be a note like, okay, so what have you got there in terms of Abby coming back to Arcadia? I find that this season of the 100 has this Game of Thrones effect. By that I mean characters emerge from one place and then whip up in the other, like in a snap. They don't have some longevity in terms of their location and all of that. And it's not a complaint by any means. It's just something interesting that I thought were sprung to mind, because Bellamy and Clark left Polis to head back to Arcadia. And then the next episode, they were like interacting with Raven without any like, oh, hi, how are you doing and all of that. But we don't need it at the end of the day. That's, I guess, my meaning for this. And it's the same with Abby, with the whole Clark situation. We didn't, it was just casual, as if, oh, it's been a few days and all of that. So it's just more of an interesting way they're going about it, rather than, okay, well, these characters are going to interact on their way back and all of that. Instead, they're just snapping to, okay, well, we're going to head to this destined location. And then the next scene we see them in the next episode, they've already interacted as if it's been a few days and all of that. So I found that to be an interesting note in terms of characters going from one place to another in the next episode. I don't know why, but I found it interesting with Bellamy and Clark. And I found it very, very, and it was noticeable with Abby being there as well. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting note to point towards. Not that I'm complaining, I just thought it's interesting what they're doing, and it's like the Game of Thrones effect. So yeah, I've got no complaints there, just an interesting note. But yeah, that was a great episode. Like I said, decisiveness in terms of decisions yet again. Lives of the many, lives of the few. What are they going to do with Luna? Because, like I said, we could really do with a gallon of Nightblood in a barrel just outside Arcadia. Because if so, unless Luna is like, milk me, basically. Milk me with my Nightblood. Unless she's going to basically be like that, then... Oi, we've got some contradictions, potentially, or something along those lines, considering the fact that they were so opposed with Mount Weather stripping people for blood, and they might have to do the same thing again for survival. Like I said, though, I think they're going to give her that choice, and if she doesn't want to be milked, as I say, then I think they're going to accept it and not be like Cage, who was like, whatever, I'll just do whatever I want and all of that. Like, there's going to be more of a choice. Because even Kane was, like, trying to give him a choice in the last episode of Season 2, and Cage just did whatever his heart's desired because he's a complete cunt. So, yeah. Still glad he's dead. But, yeah, next episode should be very, very interesting with that revelation. And, yeah, I'm really loving Season 4. I think these few episodes have already been better than Season 3 at the minute. But... then again, I do think Series 3's second half was a lot stronger than the first half, so it could be like, oh, the first half of Season 4 was stronger than the second half of Season 4, yeah, but it would be a bit of a bummer if that's the case, considering that's where things should amp up, so, yeah, but that's my 2 cents at the minute. But yeah, great episode of Season 4, and another setback for the 100, as the Sanctuary didn't turn out to be a sanctuary for Jaha and Bellark. It's just not happening. So yeah. But yeah, that was the 100. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feed and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!